A century ago, when Felix Dzerzhinsky anointed the embryo of the Frankfurt School that would spread the gospel of DEI, the United States ranked far from first in his mind. America was barely a world power. After almost 2 years of brutal combat in the Great War, Americans wanted little to do with Europe and its problems and looked inward to build their own country. The United States had no foreign intelligence service. It had no domestic counterintelligence service. Today, the ghouls of Iron Felix, the cultural mass murderer Georg Lukács of Bolshevik Hungary's Red Terror, and the garroted Willy Munzenberg haunt the remains of Western civilization to tear down what still stands. Cultural Marxism, critical theory, and the other excreta of the Comintern's Frankfurt School have rotted American society from within. The FBI and CIA, built to defend the nation against subversion, failed completely to defend the nation against an ingeniously insidious Kremlin active measures strategic offensive, both when under Moscow's control and when it developed a life of its own. Critical theory, the ideological matrix that now dominates the core missions of the FBI and CIA, requires a constant search for enemies, from fellow law-abiding countrymen to American constitutional institutions themselves. Critical theory dispenses with evidence, legal precedent and procedure, and equal justice under law. It cuts down, distorts, and manipulates every aspect of life toward a predetermined objective. It sets citizens against one another. By design, its adherents consciously weaponize the law to achieve an ideologically engineered, diverse, equitable, and inclusive end state. It causes people and the agencies in which they work to become arbiters of truth. Many of those just following orders are completely unaware or find it personally expedient to proceed with their jobs. Diagramming today's American intelligence community without labels might lead an old-school Sovietologist to guess it was an organizational chart of the old KGB, with every imaginable security and intelligence function permeating every corner of society. And then came the merger with big tech, quantum computing, billions of cameras and microphones, and the overwhelmingly ubiquitous Internet of Things. Warnings of abuses, censorship, and illegal spying, brushed off as the apoplectic mania of the hateful and the paranoid, turned out to be true. A combination of these transformations, the centralization of safely dispersed agencies, domestic intelligence with police powers, the merger with the world's most powerful tech and social media conglomerates, and the internal politicization of totalitarian mindsets among all professional personnel, created the most threatening machinery of human control outside communist China. The great institutions designed to protect us against the threat of Soviet communism in the end absorbed and re-weaponized the most subversive Soviet plot ever launched. Even the most courageous G-men and intelligence professionals caved in or quit. Or caved in and quit. Most stayed silent and watched it happen. They still do, just following orders and anticipating their pensions and post-career big tech jobs or federal contracting gigs. FBI traitor Robert P. Hansen died alone in the miserable solitary confinement of his Supermax prison cell. He may have been the most destructive spy yet discovered in the FBI. Even though the scope of the damage he caused remains classified, it is difficult to see how Hansen's crimes could have come close to the far greater and enduring evils of the critical theorists and cultural Marxists who have infiltrated our intelligence community and are on the verge of destroying it from within. J. Edgar Hoover warned all along that something like this would take place if the citizens remained unaware and complacent. His track record was unmatched, and his name was reviled for it. As today's cancel culture FBI plans to erase Hoover's name from its planned megaplex headquarters, while preserving Hoover's positive fictions about fidelity, bravery, and integrity, today's CIA lies to itself and to the public that Wild Bill Donovan was all about diversity, equity, and inclusion. The protectors of America's secrets, defenders of the nation's integrity, have become infiltrated with an ideology created from a century-old Kremlin active measures campaign. Implementing that ideology is part of their core mission now. They embrace it. They celebrate it. They are enforcing it. We still have time to stop them.